In a village where dreams usually die before they're even born, lived a boy named Aman. He wasn't rich. He wasn't talented. He wasn't the top of his class or the fastest runner or the strongest. But he had one thing: consistency. That quiet, invisible, unglamorous force that most people ignore until it changes everything. Every single morning before the sun rose, Aman ran. He didn't have shoes. He didn't have a proper track. But he ran anyway, on the muddy road with determination louder than thunder. His goal? Not to impress others, but to break the limits within himself. People laughed. They said, "One day doesn't matter." But Aman whispered back to himself, "That's exactly why it matters." He trained when it rained. He trained when he was tired. He trained when his heart was broken. Because he knew the ones who win aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who show up when no one else does. And while the world slept, Aman worked. Consistency is a silent war. Not against the world, but against your own excuses. And Aman? He was at war every single day. There were days his legs ached so badly he could barely walk. There were nights when hunger kept him awake. But he never complained. He never cursed his fate. He never blamed the sky. Instead, he looked in the mirror and said, "You've come too far to quit now." His father worked as a laborer. His mother stitched clothes. They barely made enough to eat. But even with an empty stomach, Aman filled his soul with purpose. He didn't want luxury. He wanted growth. He wanted to become something more than a name on a forgotten list. Each day he did the same routine: study, run, work, repeat. People mocked him, called him boring, lifeless, too serious. But what they didn't see was that he was building a version of himself, brick by brick, that one day they would envy. Because consistency doesn't shout. It whispers. It moves in silence. Until the day the world can't ignore you anymore. One evening, a storm hit the village. Trees fell. Roads flooded. Most people stayed indoors. But not Aman. He wrapped his books in plastic, tied his old shoes, and ran through the water like it was a race against fate. People screamed from their windows, "You'll fall. You'll get sick." But he kept going. Because he had learned something powerful: the world respects those who continue when everything else stops. That storm was symbolic. It wasn't just the weather, it was life. Life will test you, over and over again. And every test whispers, "Let's see how long you last." But Aman had already answered, "Forever." He came home soaked, shivering, but smiling, because he knew what others didn't. Storms don't stop the consistent. They sharpen them. While others waited for motivation, Aman created it. While others waited for the right time, Aman made time his servant. The world was about to witness something they never expected. A boy with nothing, becoming unstoppable. Years passed. Slowly, quietly.
No applause. No spotlight.
Just sweat, grit, and relentless repetition. Aman applied for a city scholarship. Hundreds of others applied too. Most were more qualified on paper. But what they lacked, he owned: consistency. The exam day came. Aman traveled 6 hours by bus, then walked another 5 kilometers to the center, on an empty stomach. He was tired, but not broken, because he'd trained his mind to fight through anything. He entered the hall, sat down, took a deep breath, and wrote. Not just with his pen, but with every ounce of struggle he'd endured. Weeks later, the result came. He was selected. Not just selected, ranked in the top 10. The village froze in silence. The same people who once laughed now whispered his name with respect. The boy who once had nothing now had everything that mattered. Proof that consistency beats talent when talent stops trying. Aman moved to the city. New lights, new rules, new noise. It was overwhelming. Students spoke fluent English, wore branded clothes, drove cars. Aman felt like a grain of sand in an ocean of privilege. But he reminded himself, I didn't come this far to compare. I came to conquer. So he kept his head down, worked harder than ever, woke up at 4 a.m., studied when others partied, ate simple, lived small, dreamed big. The city tried to break him. People mocked his accent, called him village boy. But what they didn't know was that village boys grow roots, and roots are unshakable. He joined competitions, failed some, won others. He never let success get to his head, or failure to his heart. Because consistency had taught him, life isn't about winning every time. It's about showing up every time. And Aman? He always showed up. Then came the darkest year. His father died suddenly. His family broke down. His college fees were due. His dreams stood on the edge of a cliff. Most people would have given up, gone back, blamed fate, but not Aman. He cried. He grieved. And then he got up. He took up part-time jobs, cleaned floors, served tables, did delivery.
Worked till midnight.
Slept 3 hours. Then woke up to study again. He had every reason to quit, but one bigger reason to stay, the promise he made to himself, that no matter what, he would finish what he started. Pain changed him not into a victim, but into a warrior. And warriors don't beg for easy lives. They fight for meaningful ones. Graduation day arrived. Aman stood on the stage not just as a topper but as a symbol of struggle, of fire, of the power of never stopping. His speech wasn't poetic. It wasn't dramatic. It was simple. If you want to change your life, stop waiting for the perfect day. Pick today, and do it again, and again, and again, until the world has no choice but to notice. The hall was silent. Then thunderous applause. Professors who once doubted him, now admired him. Students who once mocked him, now looked up to him. He got job offers, big ones, but he chose something bigger, to go back to his village and teach others what consistency taught him. Today, Aman runs a free school in the same village where he once ran barefoot. Hundreds of kids sit under trees, holding books, eyes shining with dreams. He doesn't teach them to chase success. He teaches them to chase discipline, because he knows success is a byproduct of effort done daily. The same roads that once laughed at him now carry the echo of children shouting math tables. The same neighbors who doubted him now send their kids to him for hope. His story didn't begin with brilliance. It began with showing up, again, and again, and again. This is the power of consistency. Not loud, not fast, but unbreakable. So if you're watching this, ask yourself, can you show up tomorrow, even if no one claps today? Because that is where legends are born.